Man City are back in Premier League action on Sunday when they travel to the Emirates Stadium to face Arsenal, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. Now, we're recording this game before Man City's Champions League clash with Napoli on
Yeah,
Thursday, but City do enter this contest in the capital after winning 3-0 against rivals Man United in their last Premier League fixture. As for Arsenal, they've picked up 9 points from their first four games and most recently beat Nottingham Forest in the league 3-0. There's been plenty of intrigue, of course, around games involving Man City and Arsenal in recent years, largely because of them both battling towards the top end of the table. There were 10 goals scored across the two fixtures between City and Arsenal last season, although City were unable to come out on the winning side in either of those games. They drew 2-2 at the Etihad, and that was followed by a heavy 5-1 loss at the Emirates in February. Now, Stephen, you'd hope that City will not be beaten in the same fashion at Arsenal this time around. Who do you think are the favourites going into this game on Sunday, and what do you think we can expect
Yeah.
between City and Arsenal?
Arsenal favourites by a mile. I can't sit and pretend otherwise, and I am not 100% confident about this game. I think City, as much as the performance was good against United, I still think we're a long way from anywhere near being our best. We against the poor United side we had at home. United had more possession than us, which is it's still not good enough for a City side. And I know we won 3-0, but it felt to me individual quality got us through as opposed to a team performance. And a lot can happen between when we're recording this and Arsenal. We've got Napoli to play between these takes. But Arsenal, they are just a much more settled side right now. It's that their ground. They're going to be really up for it. I am apprehensive about this game, and it doesn't necessarily mean I'm apprehensive about the entire season. But I think Arsenal's just it's come too soon for us. I think Rodri will have a rest, which will help, and I expect Rodri. He's looked quite ropey so far. If I'm being honest, he's not fully found his form. He looks like the first season Rodri right now to me, actually. I expect he'll be up for this game, and he'll understand Marino and Steven Mendy's their game and so on. But I think it might be just a bit of game too soon for City right now to really impose themselves on this because Arsenal look a little bit more of a settled unit. They're so solid defensively as well, Arsenal. They always have been under Arteta. And they've added a few different ways to score as well. I mean, it was a new forward line entirely against Forest the weekend. Madueke, Gyökeres, and Eze. We had Saka and Trossard, and and they've got Martinelli. They've got a few options now. Where previously they felt a little bit. There was only real one rhythm to them. They do have options of different ways to play, and Steven Mendel's a cracking signing. He's been fantastic. Scored a lovely goal at the weekend. Mascara had a really good performance against Forest as well, and yeah, they look like a good side. Arsenal, annoyingly, and I think they are right now, as it currently stands, better than Man City. They are more prepared than us. They're more set. They're more settled, and they've signed well. So I am not fully confident. Having said that, there is always that big game mentality. I presume Donovan at this point has played another game. Hopefully Foden's another game fitter. Hopefully Rodri is more up for it. And look, hopefully Reinders just finds a bit of rhythm by then because there's another game in between. It's very possible that City can frustrate Arsenal and can create themselves as well because they've got the quality. Doku can beat people at any level, and he's one of the most tricky wingers in world football. And Foden looks great against the United. Haaland clearly up for it. Arsenal are better siders right now, but City still have an awful lot of quality, and it just depends where we are after the Napoli game. I'm not confident, and I expect Arsenal might even win this game, but I don't think it's uh, unfair to say that City, they could end up winning it too, because I think the quality at both sides is very evident.
Yeah, I mean, City, of course, have got a few injury issues themselves, but so have Arsenal. They've got a few key players that could miss this game, the likes of Odegaard and Saka and Saliba are all nursing issues. So if they were to be out, do you think that would give City more of a chance of winning this game, or do you still think that Arsenal are, firm favourites if they like to win this one?
Yeah, obviously Saka's a massive blow. Madueke's had a really good start actually, to be fair, and they've got Eze, which brings a lot of creativity. So Saka's still their best forward, but they've replaced Saka's skill at least with Madueke in terms of he's not quite as creative, but he's a goal threat, and he looks like he's enjoying life at Arsenal. And Eze is an upgrade on what they had on the left hand side as well. Odegaard, yeah, great player, but they'll bring Declan Rice into that midfield, which is that against City anyway. Declan Rice might be a better bet, for that in that midfield than Odegaard because they're going to outrun us in midfield, and that's their plan, I reckon. And Declan Rice suits that down to a T. So I don't think they'll lose too much from Odegaard not playing if you bring Declan Rice into that midfield from the Forest game. Madueke, yeah, if Saka's a 8, 9 out of 10 right winger, he's only one digit down from that, so he's a good good option. Saliba, yeah, I don't know much. I don't know how good that Mascara fella is, but the Arsenal fans are raving about him. So he seems to slot into that team quite nicely. Looks like one of those bit of a bargain signings where fits into the team really well. Reminds me of like a Kanji did that a few years back, where he came into City not as a headline signing, but just fitted the team balance really nicely. He could be similar potentially. And of course, we've got Hincapi as well, who's looks like a smart signing. So I don't think they'll feel the absence too much. I think City's absence is a bit more substantial, if I'm being honest, especially when it's a City side that's trying to find the balance. Arsenal, for the first time, looks like they've got the depth to replace a lot of these injuries, and yeah, I hate sitting here and saying this, but they look like they're in a good position.
Yeah, and City have failed to win any of the last five meetings with Arsenal competitions, including each of the last four in the league. So this is going to be a tough game, whatever happens. And if City were to lose, how significant do you think that would be? But also on the flip side, how beneficial would it be for City to beat Arsenal, another team that are hoping to compete for the title this season? What sort of message do you think that would send out to the rest of the league if City were to beat Arsenal, having already beaten United 3-0 at the weekend?
Huge, absolutely. I presume if City beat Arsenal, there's probably a Napoli victory in between as well. And at that point, you've gone from a couple of very devastating losses to a run of form that could be transformational. Like football is obviously it's mainly technique, but so much of it's mental. Like a team that could look like one of the worst in the world could suddenly go and win 10 in a row if they have big victories. So, and the City are very capable of beating that side, and things can just click and confidence can just rocket. So, yeah, I think an Arsenal victory would be massive, and I expect the energy in the side and the self belief would rocket, and there's still be things to fix, of course, but look, all of a sudden City fans would start believing, and I think the blow Arsenal would feel as well. I think that would be substantial because they'll look at this as an almost, I think not as a must win as such, but they'll be thinking this is the worst City side in a long time in terms of strength and confidence. And they're very much in transition. We can beat them and beat them potentially comfortably if it goes well for them. If City win, I think they'll feel that. I think that it'll be quite a painful loss for them. So, look, City, just keep it tight. If you can. Play Kusanov again at right back, in my opinion. Lock him down on that side. You've got your look. Nico Riley was good against United as well. He's not the most natural left back in the world, but he's a big, strong lad with good pace. I'm sure he'll probably start again. Maybe it'll be Ake actually. I reckon Ake will probably start. So you got the experience of Ake, Vardiol, Diaz, and Kusanov's pace. That's a solid back line with Donnarumma there. That is a good base. I think you could bring Nico Gonzalez into the side as well. I think it wouldn't be the worst idea. Nico and maybe Rodri instead of Reinders potentially. Maybe he plays all three of them. And Foden plays in the forward line somewhere. I think I wouldn't mind Foden, playing out wide if he needed for this game. But just keep it solid basically and keep the ball, and then you've got that channel, that outlet of Haaland, and Doku and people like that, and anything's possible.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, can I get a score prediction for you then from City's trip to Arsenal?
I'm not confident in this one. I think they are
No.
going to win at Arsenal. I think they're way more. They're so much more athletic than us right now, and they're so much more prepared, and they know what they're doing, and they have the rhythm and the structure. So I want to be optimistic, but I'm feeling pessimistic, but not like in a defeated way. I expect it. I don't think it's the be all and end all of our season. I just think it's probably where we are right now that Arsenal are a better side than us. Doesn't mean you can't change, but I think they'll probably beat us by like. Yeah, I think we'll probably score, but I think they'll probably beat us 2-3-1 or something like that.